was a busy evening in the league, and 2 games I want to zero in on involve some fringe playoff teams just looking to stay in the fight. They probably have to win 8 or 9 in a row at some point, but you can't win 8 or 9 straight without winning 1 straight. The New Jersey Devils stuck in the win column with a 6-2 dub over the Dallas Stars. It was Jake Allen's debut, and it did not get off to a good start for Allen. He gives up a goal 15 seconds in, but he bounces back really nice. .946 save percentage. The Devils get 6 goals from 6 different goal scorers in that game. So the depth comes through for New Jersey, but most importantly is they got the saves. So the deadline out of Allen is working out early on. They're in that 6th wildcard spot right now, Colby. Is good goaltending going to be enough to get this team back in the mix?
I don't think so, Tyler. I think it's just going to be too little too late. And, you still look at the inexperience on their blue line, and you still look at, the way that, you're seeing a little bit of high risk, high reward hockey from some of these young players who are learning. You're not holding it against them. They're being put in situations that are incredibly difficult for young first year defensemen, and expecting them to play against other top teams night in and night out and be successful. It's a big ask. It's one thing to have a good night here and a good night there. It's another thing to do it consistently. But I will say this: when you have Jake Allen in the net, or Kakinen from the San Jose trade, it does change the confidence level, and it also changes the margin for error. Okay, I'm not saying it you just signed Carey Price or Connor Hellebuck or brought him in, but you got a major upgrade in goal. You've got a guy who you can trust and count on to make the first save. And I think when that raises the margin of error, your team can play a little bit more confidence. You don't see those goals go in that deflate you, although that goal did go in early in that hockey game last night. Jake Allen did make quite a few saves the rest of the game. So I do think it's too little too late for the New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, and another thing just working against them, Gavin, if we could pop up the standings again out in the Eastern Conference, like, it's one thing to sit there and go, okay, you're the Devils, you're 4 points back of the New York Islanders for that last wild card spot. You could even, if you're New Jersey, sit there and say, hey, you got a game in hand on Philly and you're 8 points back. Maybe that's attainable. But then the issue is Pittsburgh, if they win their game in hand, has jumped you. Buffalo is right around where you are if you're the Devils, and you got to jump Washington, and you got to jump the Red Wings. And at this point in the season, there's so many interconference, interdivision games to be played. Jumping that many teams in the final 15, 16, 17 games of the year, like, the math just isn't quite there.
Someone always is getting points.
And on some nights, both teams are getting points in today's NHL with the existence of the loser point. So I just, again, even if New Jersey were to go, like, there's 16 games left, if they were to go 12-4, I don't think that's even going to be enough for them to get in, because some other team's probably going to go 10-6 and stay ahead of you.
And if you're in a playoff spot right now and you finish the year at 500, you're probably making the playoffs because of the dynamic of who's playing who this time of year, and the reality of everybody is picking up points on a nightly basis.
No team's better at scooping up the loser point than the New York Islanders. Quickly out in the Western Conference, the Minnesota Wild, we talked about maybe that win over Nashville with the big balls play from John Hines being a spark. It's been a spark. 3 straight wins for them. Marc-Andre Fleury, a 16-save shutout. Unlike Jersey, they just have to jump into a playoff spot. There's not that mush.
Yeah, this team from Minnesota right now, Tyler, they've really buckled down defensively. I mean, they gave up 16 shots, albeit to the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. And I know we're not supposed to call them the Mighty Ducks anymore, so wait for the people in the chat to correct me on that, but I'm staying with it. They've just defended around their net a lot better. Another 24.5-minute night for Brock Faber, who's just been tremendous for this team. You see Kaprizov get on the board with a goal. They're getting goaltending. They're still running hot from that OT decision that John Hines made. They do have a new coach, so I think players have a little bit extra motivation to really finish this season hard, to try to set themselves up in a good light with John Hines for next year, because Bill Guerin is not the type of guy to really sit on his hands. I don't know, though, because you look at the teams that they're chasing. I still think Vegas, although they still don't look good, suffering another bad loss, I still think they're going to find their way into the playoffs, right? And I don't think you're going to catch Nashville, who's been the hottest team as of late. So they'll push, and knowing John Hines as well as I do from playing for him, he will expect his players to continue to push and continue to give all the effort. But I know that's normal, right? You're in the NHL. You should be doing that anyway. So I think, again, it's going to be probably too little too late. 4 weeks ago, I thought that they would do it. I thought that they would push. I thought they'd get their way into the playoffs. But I think Nashville is just going to make it too difficult.
5-1-1 in the month of March are the Minnesota Wild. They have 6 more games remaining in the calendar month, 4 of them against non-playoff teams, 1 of them against the Vegas Golden Knights. If you want to hold on to some hope, if you're a Wild fan, you're 4 points back of Vegas. You play them 2 more times. You can basically look at those 2 nights on the schedule and say, those are 2 game 7s for us. You need to win those if you want to have a shot at getting into the postseason. What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Saravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.